What's up everyone, this is FP Sticks bringing you some more Go Battle League battles here in the Great League, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing the team that I ran in my first 5 sets of Season 7. I was able to pick up 21 wins with this team in my first 5 sets, so I only had 4 losses. Granted, yes, these beginning battles, from what I understand, everyone's rating like hard reset. And so I'm essentially being paired up with any possible opponent here, especially in the first couple of sets, because there's no hidden rating within the first set, I would believe, until you're able to get some wins and losses and calibrate it. So some of my opponents are definitely running some fun and unique teams, and I'm definitely going kind of try hard right out of the gate here running this team. But I'm running this team of Venusaur, Mew as the safe swap, running Wild Charge and Flame Charge. I really enjoy running this moveset on Mew if you're utilizing Mew as the safe swap. Typically when you're safe swapping Mew, you're going to be operating on an energy advantage, and so it's not as crucial to have a bait move like Surf, and Flame Charge can really surprise some opponents that might end up thinking that they can bring out a grass type, assuming that your Mew would be running Wild Charge and Surf. I think Mew in the lead does function best with Wild Charge and Surf, just because Surf gives you really nice coverage against the rock types like Bastiodon and as well as G-Fisk being that ground and steel type. But Flame Charge is a lot of fun when you're using it on the safe swap, and then G-Fisk in the back is obviously the hard cover for all of Venusaur's weaknesses, essentially. So let's kind of jump into these battles. I didn't include all 5 sets in this video because it would have been really long, but I think I included the first 4 sets here. My opponent is running a Mightyena and is also lagging a little bit. Mightyena is a pure dark type that is running Fire Fang as the fast move, and so I was hesitant to bring in Venusaur there. I do shield up the crunch. Shields were down though, and so I probably would have been able to get to that Frenzy Plant before the Mightyena gets a crunch, but it also learns Poison Fang. And this Alolan Sandslash is very underleveled and running Metal Claw, so 1 Earthquake will be able to take this out there. Good game. Also, I started out at rank 2 for some reason. Did anyone else have this interesting glitch happen? I was never rank 1. Okay, here's a scenario right here where having Flame Charge is a really nice surprise. I was very shocked that 1 Flame Charge does not KO, and my opponent, I guess, was so shocked that I had Flame Charge they did not want to finish out the match there. Good game. Ferrothorn's very bulky out, and I was surprised Flame Charge being double super effective still didn't take it out, but my opponent is leading Blaziken, and I noticed that it was a Fire Spin Blaziken, so I had to get out of there. I do shield up the Overheat. They're fairly late to swap out. This Mawile is running Astonish as the fast move, which is a really, really bad fast move. Terrible damage, terrible energy generation. And so I knew that this was just going to be a power-up punch, so I don't need to shield it. But my Mew is very boosted at this point. I'm going to throw another Flame Charge, continue to ramp up. It's a Gyarados, and it's a Waterfall Gyarados. It's able to Waterfall me down. It's very underleveled as well. This Frenzy Plant is for sure going to be able to take out this Gyarados. Did anyone else out there encounter some really fun, spicy battles in like your first set of Go Battle League in Season 7? It's always fun when you're just paired with like anyone without the rating there. It's a lot of fun. Venusaur into Skarmory. This is very, very bad. So I'm going to swap into my Mew. Now they were very slow to this swap, so I know that I can potentially win switch advantage here, which I really want to be able to do because G-Fisk is a very solid response to the Skarmory. I do need to correctly shield up the Earthquakes though, because if I get Rock Slide baited here, this is actually pretty bad. I will survive a Rock Slide at this range. Thankfully, I do shield up the Earthquake there, and at this point, I can just shield whatever their next move is and Shadow Claw down, but they actually let it go. Out comes the Azumarill. I can't switch out of this matchup, but I'm going to stay in here and do as much damage as possible. This Wild Charge is going to do so much damage. It does get shielded, and they have to throw energy there. I'm actually just going to shield this to get off a second wild charge because this Mew is just absolutely going off. It's like triple boosted. So it one-shots the Yazu, and then I'm able to get my G-Fisk on the Skarmory, able to come back from that very difficult lead there. Mew, as the safe swap, was able to regain switch advantage in my favor. At this point, I'm not quite sure why my opponent is still staying in, but we'll play it out. Even if they Brave Bird, it's not going to be enough damage to take me out. But they are committed. I respect that. They are committed. I definitely would have left the game at that point to try to save some time on both parties' accounts, but good game there. Venusaur and a Bastiodon. This is pretty decent. But my G-Fisk is obviously a really good response to this Bastiodon as well. They switch in a Razor Leaf Cherrim. And so I'm double resisting the Razor Leafs, and I'm going to be able to easily outpace this Cherrim to getting to a move. So I'm just going to stay in here, but I do need to ensure that I'm able to win this matchup to guarantee that my G-Fisk will be aligned with the Bastiodon. So I'll commit one shield, over farm. I know it takes 9 Razor Leafs to get to a Weather Ball. Weather Ball is a 35 energy cost charge move. I take out the Cherrim, out comes Bastiodon. I'm able to get a Parting Frenzy Plant on this, which is really good for me. Does a good chunk of damage on the Bastiodon, and now I can safely bring out my G-Fisk. In the back is a Shadow Vic, and I was slightly too slow to respond, and I lose CMP here. But I'm actually just going to let this go, over farm with my G-Fisk a little bit, and then Rock Slide this Victory Bell to take it out. And because I have this energy advantage, I know that I'm going to safely be able to get to this Hurricane. I saved my shield for this Flamethrower that I knew the Bastiodon had loaded. And this Earthquake will be able to take out this Bastiodon at that point. So this person is still trying to make the Grass Hole teamwork of Bastiodon in the lead and then double Razor Leafers in the back. Another Bastiodon lead. I was kind of shocked at how many Bastiodon leads I was encountering on the first day of these battles. So I always throw my Frenzy Plant right around when they get their energy for their charge move. It takes 7 smackdowns for Bastiodon to get to its charge move. Over farming some more here. And then I'm going to throw a Frenzy Plant right here. I'm wondering if my opponent is going to shield this or just fully sack it. They sacrifice it. Out comes Scrafty. And this is kind of problematic for my back line here. I'm really hoping that they let this Frenzy Plant through, knowing that they will survive one Frenzy. Thank goodness. At this point, I'm just going to switch in my Mew because I don't want to get countered down by the Scrafty and have it have all that energy. So I do win CMP against the Scrafty, so I'm going to throw this Flame Charge. And they let it go. I'm very surprised. It's an Azumarill in the back. This is not yet over. This is most likely going to get shielded here. If this Azumarill has Hydro Pump, I'm very concerned. Because my Venusaur is very low in health. I don't have any energy on my Venusaur. So I force them to show whether or not they have Hydro Pump. They go straight for the Ice Beam. I'm just going to go for the Earthquake here. 2 Earthquakes will do the trick against this Azumarill here. And at this point, I can safely shield this and guarantee that I will be able to safely get to this Earthquake without getting hit by a potential Hydro Pump. And able to win that game there. The Azumarill in the back definitely is scary for sure. Superior in the lead. So I am double resisting the Vine Whips. My opponent is single resisting my Vine Whips. I know Superior has access to Aerial Ace, which is a terrible move, but it does hit me for super effective, as well as Leaf Tornado, which has a chance of dropping my attack. And it's very annoying. It seems like the attack debuff occurs a lot. So they bait me with Leaf Tornado, which is unfortunate. I'm going to throw this Sludge Bomb. I'm consistently over farming and throwing the move right around the time that they're getting to their move. If this is an aerial ace, it will take me out, but I'm just going to let it go down. Now, I actually want to bring out Mew here, and I'm just really hoping that this Leaf Tornado does not debuff me. Please. Please don't debuff me. Yeah, it feels terrible, but at least I'm going to be able to throw this Flame Charge and boost my attack back up. But I still think I'm operating with a 1-stage debuff here. I'm just going for the Wild Charge here, which is a debatable play. Or I'm going for the Flame Charge there, because I wanted to boost my attack back up. I knew that this was going to be a power-up punch. Over farming a little bit, gonna go for this Wild Charge, and I'm hoping that this is gonna be enough to take out the Medicham. It is. I blind swap into my G-Fisk, whatever's in the back. I just wanted to make sure that I was on even energy with them, and it's actually a Scizor, so both Rock Slide and Earthquake hit for neutral damage here. Earthquake, you get stab on it, and it's a much stronger move, so I'm able to take out that Scizor with one Earthquake there. Good game. Venusaur into Dragonite, not good at all. Dragonite is very, very glassy, unlike Altaria though. I'm gonna bring out my Mew. They're staying in, so I'm wondering if they're weak to Mew in the back. I'm actually just gonna go for a Flame Charge here, really hoping that I get a shield. I do. That's good for me. Now I can safely go for this Wild Charge. I've also noticed that yesterday and today my battles have been laggier than normal, probably because more people are playing Go Battle League right now at the start of the season. I let my Mew go down, and I'm going to bring out my G-Fisk and farm as much as possible. I know I'm going to get hit by one Dragon Claw, but that damage is not too threatening. I don't want to get hit by another Dragon Claw though, so I will throw the Rock Slide right around here. Down it goes. I'm wondering what's in the back. Out comes a Lowland Raichu, so I'm wondering if they're very weak to this G-Fisk in the back. I'm going to throw this Earthquake before they even get to a move. Down it goes. It's a Beedrill on the back. And so right here I get fancy. It's always fun to get fancy. And I catch a Drill Run on my Venusaur. But at this point, unfortunately, there's nothing this Beedrill can do. It's pretty much in Rock Slide range. And I can just save the shield for my G-Fisk and take it out with this Rock Slide here. It will be hitting super effective because of the bug typing there. It actually doesn't even take it out. Jeez, okay. Able to Mudshot it down though. Venusaur into Mew. If they're running Surf and Wild Charge, which is the typical moveset of Mew in the lead, then this is okay. But this Mew is running Snarl as the fast move, which is very surprising. Most Mews are going to run Shadow Claw. And they're running Psyshock, so I really had to shield that up. They also have a Frost Breath Dugong. So it's doing more damage than Ice Shard, but it's generating energy a lot slower. This was actually a CMP tie, so I'm just going to let it go down, and I can bring out my Mew and safely get to a Wild Charge, but I do not want to get hit by an Icy Wind and have them drop my attack, so I'm just going to throw this before they get to a move. In the back is their own G-Fisk. I should have just swapped into my own G-Fisk right away, but at this point, because I was so slow to respond, I kind of just have to stay in here and force them to commit their energy. They're also running Flash Cannon, which definitely was a surprise to me. Just in case this was Earthquake and Flash Cannon G-Fisk, I shielded that up because that would have felt really, really bad to get nuked right there, assuming that it was going to be a Flash Cannon. Good game. Alright, Venusaur Mirror Match. So essentially, whoever can sneak in an extra Vine Whip or win CMP or correctly bait has the advantage here. My opponent snuck in an extra Vine Whip, which is really bad for me. They do shield up that Sludge Bomb. I know that I'm already behind in energy. I tried to catch a Sludge Bomb on my G-Fisk there, but was wildly unsuccessful, and now it's hard punished with the Medicham coming in here. I know they're going to go straight power up punch and ramp up so much damage here. The Earthquake does land, but this seems like a very XL metacham because that Earthquake really did not do that much damage. And it is at 1500 CP. I'm going to bring out my Mew here to get some farm. This is going to hit for so much damage if it's a Psychic. This thing has been double boosted, so I have to shield it up, unfortunately. Their Venusaur still has a lot of energy. I lose CMP here. They essentially almost have 2 Frenzy stores, so there's pretty much nothing I can do here. I can attempt to catch a Frenzy Plant on my own Venusaur. I actually just swap immediately to try to get this Venusaur out of the picture, but it's a G-Fisk in the back. And since my Mew is out of energy, this is very, very bad for me. Smart play by them, no shielding that, and really nice counting by my opponent, managing their energy very well. And they're definitely going to be able to take me out here. They're going to safely get to this Earthquake, which will be just enough damage to take out my Mew. Really nice play from my opponent. Terrible attempt at a sack swap on my part, and it failed, and my opponent definitely punished my Pokemon for that. G-Fisk in the lead, this is totally fine. If you can successfully shield up the Earthquake, this definitely puts it more in Venusaur's favor. I got an extra Vine Whip through there somehow. Definitely some lag. I'm over farming here again, right up until they get enough energy for that Earthquake, and then I'm going to throw. I get a shield. I could have thrown a Frenzy there because for some reason my opponent was heavily over farming as well, but at this point they switch in Umbreon, and I don't really have a better response for this Umbreon. Their team is crazy weak to a fighter in the lead or an Azu in the lead, so I'm very curious as to what they're going to have in the back. I would guess like a Tropius makes a lot of sense, or a Skarmory, or a Venusaur would also make sense, but we'll have to see. Venusaur is putting out so much damage against my opponent's team here. It's really great. So they're going to take me out, but I'm going to get a nice farm with my G-Fisk, potentially get hit by 1 foul play, but that's okay. They actually give up Switch there. And I'm farming. My opponent makes a mistake here and just throws immediately. They must not have Hydro Pump, which makes sense why they play roughed there. But that's why I was over farming so much, just in case they did have Hydro Pump. Over farming some more, and now I know I'm going to be able to safely get to this Wild Charge. They still have the Umbreon and the G-Fisk. Out comes the Umbreon. I'm going to throw this Wild Charge, and then I realized that this was kind of dumb because I needed more farm on my G-Fisk. But it doesn't matter because their G-Fisk was so low anyway, so I'm able to take it out there. Venusaur and Abomasnow, I'm just going to immediately swap into Mew and see what they want to do here. Out comes Electrode, so I know that it's most likely running Foul Play as a secondary move, which will hit for super effective. If I can win Switchback or get all the shields down, I'm in a decent spot here. If I can get all the shields down and I still lose Swap, then I can at least come in with Venusaur, farm this down, and Sludge Bomb the Abomasnow. So I'm more than willing to... well, I let this go here because my opponent has shields down, and now I can safely bring out my Venusaur. They revealed Foul Play, so I'm not worried about a Hyper Beam. I can tank a Foul Play, and I'm going to get a lot of farm here. Out comes a Machamp. Smart move by my opponent, not allowing me to farm them all the way down, but this Machamp is going to get one-shotted by the Frenzy anyways. Out comes the Abomasnow. I'm going to throw this Sludge Bomb. And at this point, I'm going to swap into my G-Fisk to avoid getting Powder Snow down on my Venusaur. I can no-shield all of this, farm it down, and then land a move on the Electrode, and my opponent knows that. Good game. Another G-Fisk lead. G-Fisk is a very, very common lead in the meta right now. It's fairly safe, has a lot of neutral matchups. Very bulky and solid typing resistances as well. They shield up my first Frenzy Plant, so I'm going to shield up their first move. I do get Rock Slide baited, which is unfortunate. I'm always keeping track of their energy here and trying to throw Frenzy when they have enough energy to potentially throw an Earthquake. So they do throw Earthquake right there. I'm actually going to switch into my Mew right there. And they bring out Pelipper. And I intentionally want to get hit by one Weather Ball here, continue to overfarm, and then throw the Wild Charge. Because Weather Ball is not threatening, and energy here on Mew is way more important. Out comes the G-Fisk. G-Fisk cannot mud-shot me down. This Flame Charge is going to hit for super effective. So they're going to throw and take me out. That's fine. I'm going to go for a pretty aggressive mud shot down on their G-Fisk here. I tried to catch a move. I tried to catch an Earthquake on my Venusaur, but that was a horrible play. And now I've essentially just provided them with a win scenario because their G-Fisk still has all that loaded energy. And so if I shield up one of these moves from Tropius, I run the risk of potentially getting hit by an Earthquake from my opponent. So I have to be very careful with my timing of the Rock Slide here. I can still survive this Leaf Blade, which is why I'm not throwing, and I'm gonna overfarm a little bit more. Throw right there. So I do have a Rock Slide stored. I forgot how much health their G-Fisk had stored still, which is why I didn't throw a Rock Slide immediately, but now I'm able to see their health, and I can simply go for the Rock Slide here. And this will be just enough damage to take out the G-Fisk. Once I got shields down in the lead, Mew really went to town there. So I lag right in the beginning, so we're out of sync. This is a Razor Leaf Tropia, so this is actually pretty favorable for Venusaur. And I really want to maximize my energy gains here. One Sludge Bomb does not one-shot a Tropius. But since they shielded, I can shield this up, and they do go straight for Aerial Ace, so good shield on my part. Out comes Bastiodon. I'm able to hard punish it with my G-Fisk here. I'm just going to throw Earthquake immediately because I don't want to get hit by a Flamethrower. And it's barely enough to knock out the Bastiodon. If they bring out Tropius, I essentially still have a full health G-Fisk, which is going to be able to rip off a lot of Rock Slide damage. I'm wondering if they're running Tropius, G-Fisk, Bastiodon. And if that's the case, I'm looking pretty good here. I still survive this Leaf Blade, no problem. But this Rock Slide will not KO. We get some more classic lag. And in the back is Deoxys. This is just fairly hard counters aligned in my favor there and able to take that game. Venusaur and Altaria, really bad lead for me, so I'm just going to use my Mew safe swap. Most of the time, the opponents will stay in here, so that's why I'm consistently over farming. So when they eventually do swap out, I want some stored energy. I'm going to go for a Flame Charge here and really hope that my opponent shields this. But nice call. They knew that they would survive a Wild Charge anyways, so at this point I am in a tough spot. I'm going to double shield. I have back-to-back Wild Charges stored here. So I'm just going to throw them both. If my opponent double shields, that's fine, but at least it guarantees that my G-Fisk will be aligned with this Altaria. So once again, the charge moves from Altaria are not super threatening, so I do want to overfarm as much as possible. Gonna throw right there. I don't want to get hit by another Sky Attack if I don't have to, and I have some loaded energy. Out comes Vigoroth in the back. This is very bad for me. And my opponent insta-swaps into their AWAC, so I am hard countered at every turn here. Unfortunate. And my opponent even manages their energy really well here. Just barely doesn't allow me to get to this Frenzy Plant. Amazing counting. Really nice play with the Altaria in the lead. Nothing on their team beats Azumarill though, so I don't really quite understand their team comp there. I'm not sure what they would do against an Azumarill lead, but it matched up very well against mine. Good game. Venusaur into Galvantula. This is decent. I do have a very hard counter to Galvantula in the back, being my G-Fisk, and so all I'm looking to do here is really get a shield advantage. So we get hit by that lunge, that's okay. And my opponent does not overfarm at all. I'm totally okay with that. I'm assuming that they're going to switch out here to avoid getting farmed all the way down, but they're staying in. I don't know why I did not overfarm more. That's definitely kind of a bad play on my part. For sure a bad play. Lunge is not threatening at all. I should have built to 100 energy before throwing a rock slide. I get hit by an ice beam there, which is not great. Azumarill does not get KO'd by one wild charge, so I'm throwing a flame charge. This is going to guarantee that my next wild charge will be lethal. But I'm very curious as to what they have in the back. I'm going to throw wild charge right here and see what they want to do. They let it go, and in the back is a Swampert. This is absolutely terrible for me. My switch clock was up though. I was very surprised that they had a Swampert in the back. What I should have done is thrown wild charge immediately, then swapped, instead of staying in there and allowing the Swampert to get more energy. Because now this is just way worse for me. And I was hoping that my Mew would have just enough energy to Shadow Claw down this Swampert endgame. But that is not the case. Definitely not the case. Very unfortunate. Good game to my opponent there. Roserade in the lead. So Roserade is running Bullet Seed as a fast move, which is double resisted, but it has access to Fire Weather Ball, which will be hitting me for super effective damage, and the best that I can do is hitting for neutral with the Sludge Bomb here. So they let that go through. That's fine by me. I can just let this go and come in and get farm with anything here. So I'm going to farm with Mew. Oh man, they bring out Abomasnow, and this is where having Flame Charge is really nice. So I'm wondering if they're going to let this through. Nope, they shielded up. But I know that this is just going to be a Weather Ball, so I'll let that first one go through. I'm very curious on what they have in the back. Because if this Abomasnow double shields, it kind of puts me in a tough spot. Because this Powder Snow damage is really adding up. They let it go. In the back is a Flygon. Holy crap. Just going to go for the Flame Charge because it's single resisted, whereas Wild Charge is triple resisted. I burnt the last shield. That's all I needed to do. Now I can safely get to this Earthquake. Shield up whatever this is because this was a CMP tie. Earth Power definitely wouldn't have taken me out, but I did not want to risk if it was an Earthquake. So able to take out the Flygon there. Really cool team from my opponent. Good game. Oh man, tough lead, and this is one scenario where not having Surf is a little bit more difficult, but I don't suspect my opponent is going to stay in here the entire time. So they bring out Alolan Ninetales here, and I'm able to get this Flame Charge off. It's a Charm Alolan Ninetales as well. They still have 2 shields. This is really not good for me. I'm going to get this last second Wild Charge off, and they double shield. But luckily now I can Mud Shot down, and these Weather Balls are not nearly as threatening on G-Fisk, where they're only hitting for neutral damage, versus they'd be hitting for super effective damage on my Venusaur. I have a lot of loaded energy. I still have a shield. Out comes their Alolan Marowak. I knew that it was out of energy, so I farmed up a little bit more before throwing this Rock Slide. This should be just enough to take it out. In the back is their own Venusaur. I'm just going to throw this Earthquake. And then I try to get fancy and catch a Frenzy Plant. But my opponents are not taking the bait. They are too smart. And they're able to throw Sludge Bomb on my Venusaur. It doesn't matter. They're in Frenzy Plant range, so I'm going to be able to take them out with this Frenzy Plant. But really nice job holding onto their energy and not going for the sacrificial swap there. Good game. I think we have one more battle in this video. So G-Fisk in the lead again. If you shield up the Earthquake, you're in a good spot. They threw at 7 here, so I knew that this was only a Rock Slide. So I let it go through. Out comes Altaria, and G-Fisk is a very solid counter to this, but this has me thinking maybe this is Altaria, or this is, maybe they have 2 flyers in the back. G-Fisk double flyer, so maybe a Skarmory in the back, or a Tropius potentially. If that's the case, My Mew is still going to have a lot of play against that, so I'm not too concerned. And I do want to leave this with as much energy as possible, but now with this Rock Slide nerf, you can't KO an Altaria in 2 Rock Slides. And you also can't Mudshot it down, so it puts it in a little bit trickier of a spot there. Down goes the Altaria, out comes the Azumarill. And so at this point, I'm in a pretty good spot here. My Venusaur has so much loaded energy, I'm actually just going to insta-swap my Mew, because Mew can beat both G-Fisk and Azumarill, and my Venusaur can beat both Azumarill and G-Fisk, so there's no point in me staying in there and getting farmed down. I'm just going to ramp up with these flame charges, and there's pretty much nothing that my opponent can do at this point, because this double shielded Mew is just going to go on a spree here. I might even let this go. Yeah, I even let this go, and it's just a Rock Slide, because Venusaur is still going to be able to sweep. I'm going to throw this Wild Charge. If they let it go through, it's going to one-shot, and they know the game's over. Very good game. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you appreciate the content. Let me know what you think of this team. I've been having a lot of fun with it, and best of luck out there with your Go Battle League battles. I'll see you all in the next video.